Okay, we're busy with the June paper for grade 10s and we're going to do question 2.2, the cash journals. And in this video I will be looking at the CRJ. So all the transactions in this question that has to do with the CRJ or cash receipts journal will be done in this question. Okay, we need to take note that French Traders uses a markup of 65% for all merchandise sold, which means if I just draw a block, cost price equal to 100, profit equal to 65, and then the selling price equal to 165. We will use it, we need it in a specific question. Okay, first transaction that has to do with the CRJ. The owner French got a loan from the business from B&R Bank at an interest rate of 12% per year. The loan of 150,000 was deposited directly into the bank account. Okay, so what we need to look at now is there's no interest yet because it's only the first day of the financial year, or of the month. But what we do have is a deposit of 150,000 rand that we can enter into the books. Okay, alright, because they deposited the money directly into the bank account, we won't see it anywhere else but on the bank statement. Okay, I know nowadays we've got SMSs etc. sent to us, but the proof of payment that we use will be the bank statement to show that B&R Bank deposited 150,000 rand into the bank account. There's nothing in the analysis of receipts because we haven't handled any cash, and then we must put it in the bank. And what was it for? It was 150,000 rand that we received, and it was a loan from B&R Bank. Okay, so that's where we got our marks over there. Okay, right, so that was transaction number 1. The next transaction, you'll see there's one on the 6th as well for the CPJ, but we're only doing the CRJ at this stage. Okay, so on the 9th, goods with a cost price of 66,000, okay, was sold for cash. Okay, now the other thing that we put in the CRJ is all cash sales. Okay, so we've got 66,100 that was sold for cash, and the what we use then is CRR, cash register roll, as a source document number 99. Okay, remember they're telling you that the cost price is 66,100 and it's sold for cash. Okay, so the cost price is 66,100. Okay, so now when I'm doing that specific calculation, remember I'm going to redraw the block here as well. Selling price 165, profit 65, cost price 100. Okay, alright, what do we have? We have 66,100, that is the cost price. Put it over 1. Therefore, we need to put what we have, that percentage, at the bottom. And that percentage at the bottom is 100. We want to work out the selling price, so we multiply it by 165. And I'll show you the answer on the answer sheet just now. Okay, so that was number 9. So I'm going to show you how we put it on the answer sheet. Okay, so day 9. Okay, it's CRR 99, day 9. Okay, we received the cash. Okay, so the actual selling price we received, okay, is 109,065. In analysis of receipts, we normally draw a line underneath. Okay, the reason why we don't put it in the bank, I'll show you now, is because there's another transaction on the same day, but we put it in sales. This is plus the 65%, profit, and then the cost of sales is 66,100, and that's all we have to put in this line for the 9th. Okay, right, then the next transaction that we're going to do is also on the 9th, as I mentioned, and you'll see here that on the same day 2 transactions was done in the CRJ. So you received rent income for the month of March for renting out the building to S. Smith, the tenant. Okay, the tenant increases every year in March with 8%. Okay, the rent for February amounted to 14,600. Okay, so now you must also show, because we are doing the month of March, so we must show the increase of 8%. Okay, so it's 14,600 to calculate times 1.08 or 108%, and then we will get the amount that I will show you on the answer sheet just now. Okay, so there we've got requisition number 1111, that's the source document. Also on the 9th, you can show 9th there as well, but I mean, because it's the same day, you don't have to write it in. It's from S. Smith, and analysis of receipt, we received the money 15,768, and now we have to add these two together, and we only deposited once into the bank, 124,833. What was the amount? It was 15,768, and we put it right at the back in sundry accounts because there's no column for it, and we write rent income. Okay, so that's up until the 9th. Okay, so the next transaction that we're going to do is the 15th. Okay, which states CRJ. Received 17,600 from Kappa Bank for the fixed deposit which matures, pays out, and included an interest of 10%. The amount was deposited directly into our bank account. Now, 17,600 included 10% interest. Okay, if we receive the fixed deposit back, it's an investment that we made, receive that back, that will be equal to 100%. The interest will be 10%, so 110% is equal to 17,600. So now we can split the two amounts, because to be able to work out, for example, the fixed deposit, we will say 17,600 over 1 times 100 over 110. That's for the fixed deposit, okay, and that amount is 16,000. And then the same thing we're going to do to calculate the interest. It will be 10 over 110, and that will be the interest. Okay, I'll show it to you now in the answer. Alright, so it will be shown in your bank statement. Okay, 17,600 in the bank. Okay, and then we show it right at the back. There's the fixed deposit of Kappa Bank in the sundry account, 16,000, and there's the 1,600 interest on fixed deposit. We do it over two lines because in sundry accounts, it's both of them are sundry accounts because there's no other columns for them, so we put them here at the back. So that was the 15th. Okay, alright, so the next one that we're going to do, we've done the 15th, and the next one that we're going to do is the 28th. Okay, so receive a payment from DM Moore, 1,520, a discount of 80 was allowed. Okay, so the payment amount was 1,520 and there was a discount allowed. So actually the account was worth 1,600 that we paid off, but there was a discount allowed. Okay, so I'm going to show you Mr. Moore's account, and the requisition 112. Why is it 112? The previous requisition was 111, so this one must be 112. On the 28th, 1520, you received 1520 in the bank. That's physically what you received. That will be the debtor is paying us back. That's the receipts that we actually received, and there's the 80. So these two, for debtors, it will actually be amounting to 1,600 if we add it together. Right, then the next transaction is on the 31st. Next transaction is on the 31st, and right, so service book, okay, be it on the bank statement, alright, and that's the cash receipts journal. Okay, so interest on, so that's also CPJ, right, the 31st, and then the last part over here, interest on a favorable account balance. Interest on a favorable account balance, that's 140. Okay, so alright, so the last thing that we're going to show over here is the following, and that is bank statement, alright, 31st. Who is it from? Century Bank. We put the 140, okay, the 140 we put in the bank account, okay. We see it on the bank statement directly shown, so we don't show it here in the analysis of receipts, and then we put 140 in there, and we say interest on the current bank account. Okay, so this amount over here, that shouldn't be there, so I'm just going to take it out, and that's something that's going to go into the CPJ. So that's the full amount, or the full CRJ for question 2.2.